Coming up, John and Brian learn how computers fine-tune an alignment, how to drive further and longer off-road, make customized floor mats, and get protected for winter next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. On a previous episode of the show, my right-hand man John showed you the Hunter Engineering Road Force Elite Balancer, which is a great machine, but it's really one of the steps in a complex process of making sure your tires are properly mounted and balanced and the alignment is done right. Speaking of alignments, we are here with Kevin from Hunter Engineering. And man, you have the Hawkeye Elite here, which is the leading technological advancement in the alignment world today. Tell me about it.
Well, once you get that rubber on that old hot rod, you're going to want to make it last as long as possible, and this is a machine that's going to get it done for you.
As we look at this kind of impressive looking beast here, walk me down from top to bottom. What's happening up here?
Well, what we have is 4 cameras, 1 camera per sensor. That's the only machine on the market that does that.
And these cameras are not just your standard issue cameras. You guys have gone the extra mile there too.
No, we're up to 20 million pixels.
Man. And the more pixels we have means a more accurate picture, which means a more accurate alignment, right?
As well as speed.
As well as speed. Now, sensors are a thing that you have also advanced on, like Hunter tends to do on everything. These are your new sensors, correct?
Absolutely. So this is actually our sensor. We have 2 planes here, which makes this a 3-dimensional target. And you see it here mounted on our brackets.
Now, these brackets are designed to mount and center this to the wheel, correct?
Absolutely. So what you have here is no more metal-to-metal contact. We can get up to 360 points of contact, and what we do is basically just cinch this right to the rim.
Now, color-coded hooks, they're obviously different sizes. We're covering a wide variety of wheel applications here.
Absolutely. Our red ones cover about 85 to 90% of the most standard rims. We have a smaller hooks, more like for your Honda Accords and things like that, and then we have adjustable hooks for a larger rim and tire.
Let's go back over to the workstation here, and really we've gone ahead and pulled up 2016 or 17 Camaro, so a 6th generation Camaro with the FE2 performance suspension. Now, what is this screen telling the technician?
This simulates that we have our sensors on the screen, and this gives us a virtual view of what our adjustments are.
Okay, so not only am I seeing this kind of in a simulation, you can actually go even deeper than that.
Absolutely. So let's go to illustrate adjustments. What you'll find here is the first warning. It gives us a possible reset required for your steering angle sensor.
So yeah, I was going to say you guys have that covered as well.
Absolutely. So this machine comes standard with a code link. This resets your steering angle sensor. For us old timers, it's more like a clock spring, but we do have to, with the advent of electric power steering, we do have to reset that to 0 along with the stability control.
Yeah, I was going to say all this stuff is now talking to each other and CAN bus and going into the car's ECU, so it needs to be perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've gone through that. The technician's been alerted. You're going to have to do that. What happens next?
Well, we have several things to do.
Wow.
We actually have actual pictures of your car. So if this is a 2017 Camaro, it shows a picture of a 2017 Camaro.
And not only that, it's actually showing the technician the points that need to be adjusted and or tweaked.
Absolutely, and as well, you see keys that are highlighted in green. For your beginning technicians, that's the next possible, or the next solution for the alignment.
Okay. Take me to the next step.
Absolutely. It'll show a generic form as well. Then it'll get you to other pictures.
In my understanding as well, you guys actually have gone so far as to have screens available where the technician is told which tools he needs to have with him.
You know, we used to take 6 or 7 wrenches to the car. Now it'll tell you to take an 18 millimeter or 21 millimeter wrench with you.
All about speed and efficiency, and I'm not looking at it for groceries here, so why do I have a scanner?
No, so what that does is that populates the information on the aligner up front. It'll give you year, make, model, and a lot of options as well.
Again, speed and efficiency. You know, one of the other great things about this unit is the fact that it is so self-contained. Every shop has its own constraints as far as space, but you guys have done a nice job keeping everything in a tight package.
Absolutely. You know, we end up, as mechanics, we end up losing tools from here from time to time. So we like to put it inside and get everything tied up where it's a nice, neat package.
Printer is also integrated in here, so the technician at the end of his job has an alignment or has a printout that shows exactly what he's done.
Before and after specifications.
Perfect. So WinAlign is an integral part of this whole process. Tell me what that is.
WinAlign is just a procedure that walks the technician through. We also have other software products as shim select and a cam adjustment process.
So those are all going to help the guy get the job done right the first time.
Absolutely.
If I'm a shop owner, what are the 3 major things I need to know about the Hawkeye Elite?
Speed, accuracy, and ease of use.
Man, 3 things that John Gardner doesn't know anything about. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM radios since 1977. Pedal Commander, make every car a performance car with Pedal Commander. Mechanics Mate, quality tools made with precision. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Well, we got this beautiful side-by-side behind us, and the truth of the matter is they became a lot faster, and in order to do that, they're actually a lot lighter. Well, there's a downside to that. The manufacturers had to shed weight. In order to do that, the gas tanks got smaller and smaller and smaller. Seth, you're here from Trail Tank. Now, you actually got the solution for that. These things are meant to be ridden on a trail, man, not for quarter-mile racing. Tell us about your tanks.
Yeah, so we started Trail Tank about 10 years ago, producing fuel tanks for the snowmobile industry. We've got a number of products available for them. But over the last couple, 3 years, we've seen the side-by-side market really explode. Saw an opportunity there to meet that demand, so that's what we're trying to do here.
Now, not only do they hold more fuel, they're actually better. I mean, the tank's better than the actual manufacturer's tank. Tell us why. Take us through the manufacturing process.
Sure. Well, the big deal is the larger capacity. We make big tanks, so you're going to get an extended range, so you can have more fun. But the big manufacturing difference is the rotational molding process that we use to make our tanks. So what you have there is pooling resin basically in all these tight areas. So as that resin is being melted into that cavity, you're going to get extra buildup in those tight areas, which are naturally more vulnerable to damage. With the OEM tank, you have what's called a blow molding process. You have a thin sheet of plastic that's actually stretched into the mold cavity. Anytime you have that material stretching into these tight areas, it's going to get thinner.
And you can see it right there. I mean, the manufacturer's tank's right here. This is yours. You can see the corners, how thin it got when it starts to blow it out versus the pooling method. Now let's take a look at your tank here. You got some cool features on it as well.
Sure, yeah. So this particular tank, it comes with all the mounting hardware you need. You'll use some of the stock hardware. You'll use the factory fuel pump, which we've already swapped over. The factory filler neck cap as well.
And you also have these pieces here. I mean, this is important. We swapped them over because your tank's thicker. It's thicker, it's stronger.
Yeah, so one of the limitations of rotational molding is you can only mold anything about a ½ inch thick or thicker. On the OEM tank, it has some 1/4 inch mounting tabs on the front, which we can't replicate with our process. So what we've chosen to do is just have some laser cut UHMW tabs that you use in place of the factory mounts.
Well, let's install it and show how easy it is. Now, installation's easy. To gain access to the tank, we removed the seat. Then we went ahead and took the floor pan out, and we removed the fender as well so we can gain access to the back of it. Now we took off a couple of items so you can see down in there what's going on. Last but not least, we removed the fuel tank. Seth, we're ready to put the new fuel tank in.
You bet. So you just want to drop this thing in the chassis, front first, under the front frame rail. Push the back end down till it kind of slides into place, finds where it wants to be. Then we'll start at the front. You're going to use your OEM hardware, the 2 8mm bolts and a couple of washers. You get those started first, and be sure to use this bushing here on the left-hand front mount.
Now, Seth, the beauty of this is that that's actually sitting in the place where the original tank sat. I mean, there's actually no modifications whatsoever to this beautiful side-by-side.
That's correct. Zero modifications on this particular model, and actually quite a simple install. So once you get the 2 front mounts located and started, you want to grab the rear mount bracket and also the 2 12mm factory bolts. Get those started. Be sure before you tighten this particular bracket down that there's 2 seat mount holes threaded into this particular bracket, and what you want to do is set the seat back in place before you tighten these up, just to be sure these holes lined up. The last thing we need to do here is go ahead and hook up our wiring harness for the fuel pump. And that's ready to operate.
Yeah, we're ready to go. You know what? We're going to add a little bit of extra fuel to this joker so we can ride it what the side-by-side's meant to be, ridden on trails. You take a short break because we'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.
The dustless blasting system uses water mixed with an eco-friendly abrasive to remove even the toughest coatings, like powder coat, undercoat, body filler, and heavy rust.
I don't think there's anything out there on the market that it can't take off.
To learn how dustless blasting can save money in an existing business or to start your own mobile paint stripping business, check out dustlessblasting.com/TV.
We actually strip chrome, which is insane, powder coating, which is also hard to believe. Dustless blasted, went right through it, no problems at all.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, one of our favorite tools here in Motorhead Garage is the thread wizard. Now, why is that? Well, if you have to clean bolts the old school way, you had to get a wire brush like this here and just kind of hit it and hope for the best. Now, you can see a little bit coming off, but I really want to show you the difference with the thread wizard, not to mention scuffing up, cutting my fingers, don't want any of that. Now, with the thread wizard, you can get them in metric or you can get them in standard sizes. And what I'm going to take a bolt and I'm going to run it through there. I'm going to actually take this bolt and I'm going to run it through the thread wizard. Now, you can do this with an actual hand tool. I'm going to hold it right here. I went ahead and got an air gun here so I can run it through a little quicker and just show you the difference. I'm going to run it in and then I'm going to go ahead and run it out. You can do it several times, clean it up. You can see it flying off. And what's really impressive, if you look right there, all the rust is completely off of that bolt versus that bolt right there, so we can put them side by side. You can see the difference in the hard work I did with this bolt. I'm just going to go ahead and take this bolt, put it in the metric size, switch my socket, and you can actually see, instead of using that wire wheel, I'll just run this one in and out of there. And when I run this one out of there, all that time I would have spent, even fine threads, doesn't make any difference. All that time I spent, bam, just like that, finished. Look at that, don't have to use the wire wheel. It's the world's fastest bolt cleaning tool, and everybody should get a metric and a standard for their toolbox. Now, one of the first things I do when I'm buying an old car or even a late model car, I check underneath for rust. Mechanical issues, no problem. Rust, I'm out. Well, no worries anymore. We have with us Joe. Joe from New Hampshire Oil Undercoating. Tell us about the rust and what's going on and your company.
Rust is like a cancer. It's a big problem in the Northeast. It is a problem that is evasive, and salt is the biggest contributing factor.
Which is getting under there and rusting the whole chassis out.
We started our business in a garage out in a dirt road, 1.5 miles in any direction.
And tell us a little about your product.
So the product is pretty low technology. It's a very simple concept. We, unlike the conventional undercoating, don't trap the moisture and the oxygen in there. Oil will displace the moisture, and it will draw it away from the base metal. It'll cut off the oxygen. Take either of those out of the equation and you stop oxidation. We also put in a green corrosion inhibitor so we can fight it on a chemical level. 90% of how this works is the physical presence of the product on the surface, and eliminating oxygen stops the process. And as long as you have product on, you kind of hold the rust at bay.
Well, how can you apply it?
We can apply it several ways. We sell do-it-yourself kits. We sell equipment that's airless, air-assisted, quick disconnect carbide tip. We have a basic kit. You can get into it for about $65, and you can apply the product yourself.
Now, your son Joey, he's going to apply it for us over there, but he's just going to use this gun. He's going to use the actual product itself in black.
He's going to use back to black. It is the same as our clear. The clear and the black, same as that product. The black is for cosmetic purposes. It has a biodegradable carbide tint to it.
And that's great. Just hook up air and shoot it. Let's take a look at Joey. He's in action doing it right now.
It's a pretty easy process. The surface should be clean and dry. You just want to put a consistent, even coat on the whole underneath of the vehicle, staying away from the exhaust and any other parts that get really hot. 2 or 3 passes will get a nice, even, consistent coat on the rust. It's a pretty easy process. You can do it in a garage or your driveway, or if you have ramps to put your truck up on, that all works. We have 2 different types of oil. We have clear and we have black. Black is strictly for cosmetic purposes. There's no difference between them besides the cosmetic aspect. You would use clear normally on newer vehicles to have no pre-existing rust, and you would use black on something that has rust already present on the underneath of the vehicle. The black will make the underneath of the truck look like a new vehicle.
Well, Joey made short work of that. You know, and I'm sure glad that he used a mask and safety glasses as well.
He did. It's a good idea anytime you breathe something in other than oxygen. But our product is a mineral oil base. It's a non-hazardous, environmentally friendly, no drip product.
Now, Joey proved to us that a do-it-yourselfer can do it. What about, I don't want to mess with this stuff, can I take it to a professional and get it done?
Yes, currently we have close to 100 dealers that offer the service and our product. They come into our facility, we train them, we sell them the product, the equipment, ongoing training. It's a great way for a mechanic not just to be reactive but proactive.
Absolutely. Now, he also had it right there on the floor. What about like under a car? There's a lot of nooks and crannies and frames. I mean, do you have some products we could get into?
We do,
areas?
and this is typically what you'd find a dealer offering. This is a high-pressure air-assisted airless system. Fits in a 55-gallon drum. These are all quick disconnect carbide tip, so you could go from a 6-inch fan direct spray to a flexible 360-degree wand, all high pressure. Or you can get into this. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a cup gun. That's a carbide tip 45-degree wand.
That's going to lay it on there.
Yep.
And you also have these little things you can get into the frame as well.
Yeah, we actually make our own tools. So this is brake line. You can see brazed at the end, bent, right. And we use that to get on the back side of a dump truck.
Awesome, awesome. Well, folks, there's $3 billion annually in rust repairs. So, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this stuff and go coat mine. You take a short break. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage right after this break.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Now included with each set of Cook's headers. Go to stage8.com. Mobile Environmental Solutions, the leading portable mobile paint booth. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day on auto parts and accessories. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, BF Goodrich is one of the most trusted brands in American tires. They have high-performance tires for great street cars. They have passenger car tires to get you and your family around. And they have their iconic line of off-road tires that have dominated races like the Baja 1000. I'm here with Eric from BFG. We're not talking tires today, man. We're going a new direction here with BFG.
Yeah, Brian, we've designed a line of floor mats under the BFG brand that integrates a lot of their core features and innovations, and it's a BFG mat all the way. BFG, this is their first accessory product that they've ever made. They're a new brand to the floor mat category, and we've got some really exciting, innovative features on these products to show you today.
First thing, as a car guy and a dude who loves trucks, KO2, man. I'm looking at a KO2 tire inside my truck.
We talked to the community around the BFG truck market, and they said the KO2 tire. People know it when they see it, so we integrated it into the mat. It made perfect sense. We've integrated some other amazing innovations into the floor mat as well. We are the first floor mat in the world to have printed lines on the back of the mat, and what those allow you to do is to match the specific fitment for your vehicle, particularly light trucks and SUVs, to the cut lines on the mat, which allow you to cut the mat and achieve a perfect fit for your vehicle.
We're talking like a 5 to 10 minute job, and literally if you can identify colors and operate a pair of scissors, you can have
You've
these
got
mats
it. It takes
fitting
5 to
perfectly.
10 minutes depending on your level of care, and then you take it and put it in your vehicle for an excellent fit. So what you typically do is you buy the product, you look up the color code for your vehicle. For instance, a Ford F-150 2017-18 is a yellow dotted line. Locate the yellow dotted line on the product, take your scissors, cut through the product where indicated. In this case, on the driver's mat, it's cut in the top left, top right, and on the bottom section of the mat. And when you cut the mat, you are left with pieces like this. And that is the floor mat that fits your vehicle.
And it fits beautifully. We can see it actually in the F-150 that we have here. Some other innovative features, you have this grip strip as well. And you know, OEM or OE mats in any vehicle have the little grabby deals at the bottom of them, but this is going to take that up on these mats.
Correct. What you do is trim this off the bottom of the mat. It has several locations designed to attach to the existing fixed grommet in your vehicle. And then a specially designed grommet that attaches to the back of the floor mat to a button. And what that does is provide additional slip resistance for the floor mat, so it's guaranteed to stay in place.
We're talking F-150s now. You guys are developing a lot of different applications for these mats, correct?
We are. We have the Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Ram, Jeep, and Toyota all the trucks, light trucks, and some SUVs. For a full list of the fitment guides, go to factoryfitguide.com and look up your particular vehicle to see if they fit.
Retail locations across the country carry the mats. There's going to be an expanding number of those, I understand, as we go through the year.
The spring will be all over the country with this product.
Perfect. One last point to address is the fact that, you know, these are great deep pile all-weather mats. So if you're a guy like me that lives in New England, you're going to get mud and snow and all kinds of junk in these things. It's going to be held in by this great deep trim.
Yep, that topography keeps your feet and pants up out of the muck and keeps the muck down away from you.
So Eric, you know, the mat kind of segment of the industry is very big, and obviously you guys have an idea who you're going to target for your customer. Who are these mats intended for?
These mats are intended for the kind of customer that wants to buy very good protection for their vehicle but doesn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a full set of floor liners. And they also don't want to spend a few bucks on a cheap pair of vinyl pressed mats. So you can buy a set of these for the price of one driver's floor liner. And also they come in pairs for the driver and the passenger. And then there is a set of universal rears which you can buy and trim off for the back seat of the vehicle as well as the third row if you so choose.
Perfect. And the reality is, you know, you guys have really done your homework in terms of the cut lines, in terms of the design. I mean, the fitment we have in this truck is amazing, and it's less than 10 minutes of work with a pair of scissors. So you're really getting the best of both worlds here. You have a very high quality product, trusted name brand, and you're not blowing the bank to try to do it.
Yeah, we're really excited about this and can't wait to see what it does in the marketplace.
Eric, thanks for coming in today. Remember, go to factoryfitguide.com to learn a whole lot more about these mats, the different applications that are available, and more from these BFG mats. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage next week. And if you have a cool product that you want to see here in the Motorhead Garage shop, email Jeff at masterstv.com. Maybe we'll see you soon right here at the shop.